A good Erev Shabbos, a good new beginning to our yearly Torah reading. This Shabbos, Shabbat Bereishis, we have a simcha at Kehillat Sharei Torah, a bat mitzvah. What better Shabbos to celebrate a bat mitzvah than the Shabbos that begins at the beginning? This past Tuesday on Simchas Torah, we began the Torah anew. Isn't it the same Torah we began anew a year ago? Yes. In fact, it is the same scroll, the same letters. But since every word, every verse of Torah is infinite, there were at least a few things that we might have missed last year that now we have a chance to focus on and learn from in this new year. Moreover, the Torah itself, the letters on the parchment are the same, but we are different than we were a year ago. So we have different experiences, different perspectives, different views on things, and different questions than we may have had last year. Maybe some of last year's questions were answered to our satisfaction, or maybe some of them gave way to new questions. In any case, we are different, and we come to this year's Torah reading beginning at the beginning, Bereishis bara Elokim, renewed from Simchas Torah, from Rosh Hashanah, from Yom Kippur, Sukkot, from the entire month of Tishrei, and all that went into it, and all that came out of it. 10 sayings, 10 utterances, Asara Maimaros, begin the beginning, initiate the creation of our world. 10 times God says, let there be, and there is. Let there be stars in the sky. Let the waters fill with fish and the skies with birds. Let the earth give forth vegetation. Through these 10 divine moments of speech, everything around us comes into being. Perhaps the most significant is, let there be light. Without light, how could the birds fly? Without light, how could we recognize one another or see the path in front of us? Without light, how would we know the difference between day and night, if there were any difference at all? Without light, all the other elements of creation would be indistinguishable. And yet, as Rabbi Sachs says in Torah Studies, let there be light also gives rise to the most questions. It's really quite puzzling. Light has no value in and of itself. It's useful when it reflects off of things and enables us to see them. So we're hard-pressed to understand why light appeared on the creation scene before there was anything to illuminate. When we speak practically about turning on the lights in a room or getting better light for a photo shoot, or if we speak metaphorically, when you explain to someone and finally they see the light, we're talking about something that's a prerequisite to sight, to awareness, consciousness, perspective. Without light or enlightenment, there could be no perception. Nothing could be accomplished. If we say that this light at the beginning of creation was simply a preparation, then it would have made sense on the day that the animals were created, or the plants, the third day maybe. The Midrash in Bereishis Rabbah gives us an answer that just makes us scratch our heads all the more. That light was created on the first day and then immediately hidden away for tzaddikim, for the righteous in the world to come. Wait a second. If light's job was to illuminate, then why create and right away conceal it? What's going on here? In the beginning of that same Midrash, we're introduced to thinking about an answer. It explains how Torah is the blueprint of the world. Just like a builder consults a plan when construction begins, says the Midrash, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God istakle b'araisa vara alma. God looked into the Torah and created the world. So the divine desire was ultimately to have a world in which we could work to reveal that light which is concealed in creation. So all the world that we know is geared towards bringing out light from the darkness, as we just heard last Shabbos from Koheles, Ecclesiastes. The Talmud in Tractate Eruvin talks about Pa'alei de Yamama, day laborers. If you look at us from that standpoint, not that we get paid every day necessarily, but that our job is to make it day, to transform or to reveal light from darkness. That gives us our calling in life. And it begins to give us some insight as to why light came first. Light, vision, perspective, inspiration, enlightenment can come even from the primordial darkness, chaos that preceded creation. No matter how dark the situation may seem, we can find the light that's there. Perhaps then, the Midrash's argument that the light of the first day was concealed for the righteous is not as distant from our experience as we might have thought. What is the vision that the original light is illuminating? The vision that the world can be better, that the world can be changed, that the world can be brought to its perfection. And if it's shown to human beings of flesh and blood, who may be created in the divine image, although we're not gods, although we have a spark of God in us, a divine soul, a neshama, that means it is within our reach to accomplish this purpose. V'amech kulam tzadikim, says the prophet Isaiah. Your people are all righteous ones, all tzadikim. All of us have the ability to glimpse the ultimate purpose and to strive toward it with every day, with every moment. And what we learn from God separating between darkness and light is that darkness too has a purpose. Half of existence is in darkness. We have a thing called night, which follows and precedes the thing called day. Darkness is not to be avoided, even though we try to avoid it by keeping our iPhone screens on late into the night when we should probably better be sleeping, but that's for another time. Darkness is for us to recognize as a part of our world and to engage it, to transform it into light. Again, whenever things seem so dark, we can remind ourselves that out of the original darkness came the original light, to teach us that we too should strive for that transformation. And this really is the message for a bat mitzvah girl who reaches the age of maturity and wisdom, to be able to appreciate that everything she does has the potential to change the world, to tilt the balance toward the good, and not only make a difference, but make things different. Reaching the age of insight and self-awareness to appreciate that each of our portions in life has some darkness in it, and our purpose is to refine, to change, to engage, and to transform that darkness into light, and of course, to share it with others. The most interesting thing about light is what happens when you share it. If you have cake or money or some other goodie and you share it with someone else, now they have more, but you have less. Most things in life are like this. Sharing is a good thing, don't get me wrong. And we just read earlier this week in the Torah portion for Shmini Atzeres, Aser to Aser, Asher Kadesh Shetis Asher, give tithes, a portion of what you have, and share it with others so that you'll become wealthy. Sharing is the way to wealth, it's true, but at least for the moment you have a little bit less in your hand. Light is different by its very nature. If you have a candle and you use it to light someone else's candle, you don't at any point have any less light. In fact, the opposite is true. Now you have more light because the room just became brighter. It shows us without a doubt that light is divine and sharing brings more, not less light. That's a lesson for all of us, whether or not we're celebrating our own bat mitzvah this Shabbos or another time. This Shabbos is a new beginning, a chance to re-examine our own status as a bar or bat mitzvah, no matter what age we are. Remember that whether or not you get a certificate, whether or not you had a party or gave a speech, we are all b'nei mitzvah. We're all sons and daughters of the mitzvahs. The purpose and meaning in life, may it belong to accomplish and transform and to change the world around us for the good. Some 115 years ago, a group of rabbis were relaxing at a spa in Würzburg in Germany. Who knows, maybe it was after the high holidays, they needed a little R&R. So they were sitting around the Shabbos table talking about the nature of being a Jew. And one of their numbers said that we should strive to be lamplighters. Back in those days, before electricity, streetlights were gas lit. And each evening someone had to go around and light each lamp individually. The rabbi told his colleagues, this is what we should be. Each of us should be a lamplighter. Each Jew has a neshama that's just waiting for its flame to be lit. All it needs is a little spark. We should go around to our fellow Jews and do whatever it takes. A kind word, a dvar Torah, a l'chaim, tzedakah, a hug, whatever they need that we can give to light the godly flame in their soul. That's a call to each of us, a century and change later, in a world where darkness might seem to hold the upper hand. There's much for us to do. Darkness only seems powerful if we fail to understand its essence and purpose. According to our parsha this week, darkness is waiting for each of us and for everyone we come in contact to transform our own corner of the world, however dark it may seem, into a shining light. May God give us all the strength and wisdom to work at this, and may we see in our times all our efforts rewarded in good health and in peace. This Shabbos in Shul, we will bless the new month of Cheshvan, which begins Monday night. Rosh Chodesh is Tuesday and Wednesday. The Mola, the reappearance of the moon in Jerusalem, the eternal and undivided capital of Israel, will take place Tuesday morning at 9:44 a.m. and 7 parts. Rosh Chodesh, as we say, is Tuesday and Wednesday. Die Moiled wird sein Dienstag in der Früh, 44 Minuten nach 9 Zeger mit 7 Chalakim. Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom.